I used to wonder why a lot of trendy clothes don't work on me, and that was when I discovered I have ethereal essence. I used to look at outfits on Pinterest and try and recreate them and end up feeling super disappointed because I always felt like they looked very boring on me, or rather I felt that I looked very boring in them. This is not something that we want to feel. We want to feel our most glamorous, our most beautiful, and our most elegant in everything we wear. So I've constantly been told the narrative that wearing basics will make you look put together, but I just found that this wasn't the case. I needed something extra to really fulfill my potential. If you have often been told that you look otherworldly, like you're of another time, like you look wise for your age, then you might have ethereal essence. My name is Ellie-Jean, I'm a personal stylist, and on this channel we use body types to level up our personal style and end the war with our wardrobes. So before we get into ethereal, let's talk about the 7 style essences. These 7 essences were created by a man called John Kitchener. They're based roughly on the idea of Kibbe body types that we talk about a lot on this channel, and he developed on this because he saw a gap that Kibbe wasn't quite covering. So he added 2 ideas to Kibbe's idea of these 10 body types. If you're not familiar with this, Kibbe's idea is that there are 10 body types based on this idea of yin to yang balance. Yin being soft, delicate and lush, and yang being sharp, angular and large. And there's this whole spectrum and different types in the middle of these 2 extremes. Kitchener's idea, instead of focusing on the body, focuses on the face, and he's identified 7 core face types. This includes some things that Kibbe has already laid out, like dramatic, natural, classic, gamine and romantic, but he's added 2 things. He's added ingenue and ethereal. I would say the essences is about 80% face type and 20% body type. And the idea is that you honor your yin and yang balance, so your sharp, soft balance that you see in your facial features with your clothing in order to look your most harmonious, or to look like the best version of yourself. Imagine if you had a really cute and innocent face, but you dressed in really sharp, harsh and angular clothing. There would be a disconnect. Lots of us do this and it can create a cool effect, but most of the time, unless you are a fashionista and you really know what you're doing, it just creates this impression that something is slightly off. Similarly, if you have a very mature, yang dominant face and you started dressing in very cute, innocent little styles, it can end up looking kind of frumpy or like you're just not dressing for yourself. It looks like you don't really know what you're doing. So it's a great step in looking put together and like you really understand yourself and what you're working with. So what is ethereal essence? Ethereal, a lot of people say, is a meeting point between yin and yang, and I would say it's, for a lot of people, the most interesting essence. The idea is that your facial features, if you had ethereal essence, resemble that of an angel, or what we typically view as an angel. If you look at a stone statue of an angel, they usually have elongated facial features with some sharpness, but there's a softness and a kindness to their features. There's also something slightly uncanny, something more than us, something otherworldly about someone with ethereal essence. So a lot of actresses who play aliens, angels, fairies, elves have ethereal essence, and that's why they work so well in those roles. That's how they can easily blend into those roles. If you took someone like, say, Kim Kardashian, who definitely does not have ethereal essence, and you tried to get her to play an angel or this otherworldly alien creature, it just wouldn't work. It would be somewhat comical because she has such modern facial features, even before plastic surgery. She has very much girl next door sort of face, somewhat shifting towards the dramatic as she has developed on her facial features a little bit. So what makes an ethereal face? Ethereals have elongated facial features. Some of their features will be quite sharp and long. So they might have sharp noses, they might have narrow jaws, they might have high cheekbones, they might have long foreheads, for example. But dramatics also have all of these features. So what makes an ethereal different to a dramatic? An ethereal might have slightly wide set eyes, like Anya Taylor-Joy, for example, and also ethereals often have low contrast, or they look most like themselves in low contrast. So whereas a dramatic looks like they're kind of coming at you, like Jamie Lee Curtis, an ethereal looks like they're kind of drifting away, like they're somewhat internal and they're thinking about things, and they just have this look in their eyes like they're just drifting alongside fellow humans. So where does the yin come in if they have such long, sharp features? Well, ethereals might have slightly round eyes, they might have slightly lush lips, they might have high cheekbones, they may have elements of the romantic in their facial features combined with this long, slightly uncanny feel that they have. In comparison to romantic essence, which you could symbolize with a rose, so it's very round, lush, soft, delicate. Ethereal is much better represented by a lily. So yes, they're soft, yes, they're delicate, yes, they have some roundness, but they're also elongated. So this is the key difference between an ethereal and romantic. Some words you could use to describe ethereals is otherworldly, angelic, poised, graceful, ageless, wise. There's something not quite human about these faces. There's something that we view as more than us or different to us. So when looking at my features, you can see that I have some elements of ethereal, even if I don't have such strong ethereal essence as, say, Tilda Swinton, because there are billions of people on this planet, billions of individual faces, and billions of individual combinations of features. So we usually only have glimmers of essences, and it's quite rare that you'll see something as strong as Tilda Swinton or as Anya Taylor-Joy, who is so clearly ethereal. This is quite rare, so you'll usually get glimmers of it, and you can see this in my face. You can see how I have elongation in my facial features. I don't have particularly round eyes. I have somewhat narrow eyes, but they definitely have a softness to them. I have those high cheekbones. I have an elongated but also slightly soft nose. If you look at it from the side, you can see that I've got quite an ingenue nose. That's where the ingenue comes in on my face. Also, our faces all have mixtures of different types of essence, because again, humans are complicated. Before you go any further, if you're enjoying this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to see more videos like this, and check out my consultations. The link is in my description. I can tell you your body type and your face type, and maybe even do personal shopping for you. So, with that said, what suits ethereals best? What suits the ethereal face type? As with Kibi body types, essence is all about honoring your yin and yang balance, so reflecting what you are in your features with your clothing. So let's think about the descriptors for ethereal essence: celestial, otherworldly, graceful, delicate, soft, elongated. We should use these as words when we're finding clothes for ethereal essence. Another word you could use to describe ethereal essence is pure. Unlike romantics, who have this very sensual, alluring vibe, on an ethereal, if you were to put them in very sexual and sensual clothing, it would look kind of wrong on them. It would look like it just doesn't belong there. It would look as if you're putting this very timeless and pure creature in something very unpure, and there's a bit of a disconnect there. So even though they're very yin, it's a different kind of yin to this cute, innocent features or sensual and alluring features. It's something very unto itself. Another thing to really bear in mind with ethereal essence is this thing called an S-curve. So when looking at curve for romantics, it's very rounded. You might even look at like a circle or something like that. But for ethereals, we're looking at elongated and rounded, so it kind of appears like an S. Like a very thin S, like a wisp of hair almost. And you really want to be following this in your clothing. So some ways you can do this, for example, are plaits. They're a great example of this S-curve. So it's not rounded and curled like you might see on a romantic. It's very elongated, and it's just kind of got this wave to it. They have this timelessness as well, this agelessness, so they work great. Feathers are very ethereal, or anything winged. So if you have any winged creatures in the imagery, that always looks amazing, as it kind of calls to this angelic element of your features, so as if you could just take flight at any minute. Mermaid tails look really great. By mermaid tails, I mean like fish style. If you looked at wedding dresses, for example, it calls to this ethereal element of the mermaid, and it's that S-curve again. Anything lace, as long as it's certain kinds of lace, so anything too romantic is going to look too extreme on an ethereal essence. Ethereals also look good in anything white. The white also draws on this idea of the angel, so that's gonna look really great. Also works with low contrast as well, so again, creates this look of them drifting away. Any kind of soft silk fabrics, any floaty fabrics are gonna look good. Asymmetric hemlines, anything that's sort of fluttery, butterfly hems look amazing. fluttery sleeves look really good. So we want the materials to be soft and light. Long dresses and long skirts look amazing. Long and shiny. Anything with a shimmer, think celestial, like stars, look very good. So anything thinking about planets, as long as it's not scientific kind, very much in the spiritual sense. So stars and moons look very ethereal as well. Anything shimmery or with iridescence, and all of this applies to makeup as well. So ethereals are going to look good with lip gloss over a matte lip. If you try to recreate model-esque looks, it's going to look slightly off as well. So shimmery eyeshadow, highlighter, all of that's going to look amazing on you. Florals can be ethereal depending on how you use them. They're a yin thing, so anything elongated, as long as they're not too little and cutesy or lush and sensual. As long as they were elongated, florals would work. Anything antiquated or vintage is also going to look great on ethereals, as like I said, they have this sense of agelessness and timelessness. And when I say vintage, I don't mean in terms of like 60s retro kind of vibes, because that obviously is of a time, but anything like regal or antiquated is going to look amazing. So corsets can look really good on ethereals in certain contexts. So with jeans, maybe not, but it might be a way to spice up a basic outfit and make it fit more with your ethereal essence. Grecian dresses look amazing. I mean, any wedding dress almost is going to look amazing on an ethereal essence. You basically want to take elements of boho wedding dresses and just apply it to your everyday life. Art Deco can also look amazing on ethereals, I think, again, because it incorporates a lot of these S-curves and has this timelessness. Spaced beads can look very ethereal as well. There are lots of elements like this. If I've missed any, I'll make sure to put some on the screen here for you. Ethereal essence is something very unique and something that's quite rare and something that we don't see a lot in society. But once you begin to notice it, you see it everywhere, and you may even notice elements of the ethereal in your own features. But if you don't see elements of the ethereal, it's nothing to worry about. It's not a beauty standard. It's just something you might have or not. It's just something that you may notice in your features or you may not. And if you don't have ethereal essence, you may have stronger elements of one of the other essences, like romantic or ingenue or classic. So you might look timeless, or you might look model-esque, you might look sporty or bold or cute or lush and alluring. So don't worry if you don't have elements of the ethereal. We all have our own unique sort of beauty. It's just one that I find quite fascinating, and I think a lot of other people do too. Let me know if you have any friends who have ethereal essence in the comments. And if you've enjoyed this video, I think you'll enjoy my playlist on essences, where I go through each of the different style essences and each of the different face types and teach you more about that. Make sure to go and check out my consultations. The link is in the description. I can tell you your body type and face type, and even maybe do personal shopping for you. So make sure to go and check that out. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.